So hello everybody. Welcome to this week's Insight with moi, psychic medium Lisa Bousson. Today I'm very excited to have a friend and colleague, Mark Schoenrock, on the air with us today. He's going to be talking about his experiences with the law of attraction. Yep. So listen in. If you have a question for Mark, or if you'd like a free psychic mini reading, go ahead and raise your hand, either up above, down below, to the side, or wherever you see that little link, depending upon what type of surface you're using, whether an iPad or computer or phone. So you have to raise your hand to know, for me to know, to promote you to panelists so that we can get you on the air. So Mark is probably one of the most gifted physical mediums that I've ever met. He's a very, very strong healer. Oh my gosh, strong healer. And his contact information, seeoutsidethebox.com, as well as his phone number, will be on the show notes down below, either on YouTube, iTunes, or on Facebook pages. All right, so we look forward to that. So without further ado, hello, Mark.
Hello, Lisa.
Hi. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good.
Good.
I just want to say that my webpage currently is under maintenance. However, once I am completed with that, I plan on posting at least every Monday. I'll have a quote from a famous person, whether they're involved with the law of attraction or not.
Mm-hmm.
However, I will explain what I feel the quote means and how you could apply it to your life. So every Monday there'll be a new one. And I also will have a YouTube page. I actually do. You can look it up. See Outside the Box. It's already on there, but there's no videos currently. However, what I plan to do is the quote that I do on Monday, I will then live by it for the week, so people can see. They'll only be like 5 to 10 minutes long or something like that, but you'll be able to see how it can affect you in a positive way. And that's my plan. And when you invited me for this, I thought this would be really good to help jumpstart what I envision to do.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. The world now is leaning more towards a video or a webinar or something like that. So I really support that you're going on YouTube as well, because of course one video you can post it in 10 million different places, so it's a very positive effect. And the more places you post it on, the more people can, it's not just great, it's a great advertising tool, but also the fact that the more people can see what a great positive effect. If you live the law of attraction, it's huge. It's absolutely huge.
Well, what most people don't realize is that they're living it regardless. And I'll admit that I've had some bumps in the road, and actually as recent as this past January. And it's been a struggle to get back on track, and I'm finally there, but here's where a lot of people don't see it. It's all about your habits. Your habits actually essentially predict your thoughts. So if you're into bad habits, you're going to have bad thoughts, which then attract more bad things to you.
Right.
Jeez, getting like texts all up and down here now.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the screen. Yeah, so just a bunch of people coming in. So for all of you that are running a little bit behind, make sure that you click the raise your hand button or ask a question button, either up below, down below, whatever. And then Mark is going to be doing a few free mini psychic readings for you today. So, you said that you recently had a setback, but that's part of being human.
Yeah. Now, I'll give a quick example using myself, and then others can probably apply it to their own daily lifestyle. I had, back in 2015, I got a job that moved my wife and I down to Florida, and I was excited. They told me this is the type of work you're going to do. And, you know, I was ecstatic to go. And of course it's in Florida. So, then a couple months later, I kind of find out that they did a bait and switch, and my job was just not what they said that it was. And actually they even switched the insurance and all the other plans.
Wow.
It was not good. And I started looking for a new job, and I was sending out the message of, I need out of here. But I didn't send out how I wanted, or basically, like, I wanted, in my mind, I'm thinking I want it to be on my terms, but that's not how I was emitting the energy. So what happened was I ended up getting laid off this past January, and we weren't prepared. I mean, it was just out of the blue. In fact, it happened 3 days before we left to go to Philippines for our family trip, and it was like insane. So I tried getting different jobs, but our situation was different now because we have our daughter, and you know, now we're back in Michigan. We got family to help, and things are finally back, you know, on our path. But you just have to be mindful of your thoughts, and then also your habits. A lot of people have habits of thinking bad, or, you know, like just thinking bad things. Like if you wake up in the morning and you stub your toe, you're probably going to think about that toe, how it hurts throughout the whole day. And then more and more things happen throughout the day that are, you know, not really good, you know, just kind of like one after another.
So manifestation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it tends to manifest the negative things quicker than it does the positive things. But
that's what you're thinking about.
Yeah. If you can build a positive habit of, you know, various things, it can just, you know, after, say, there's some people say 30 days, some people say 45 days. Definitely after 45 days, your new habits will be in effect. You know, there's some science behind it. The subconscious mind doesn't want to change because it feels that, you know, whatever it is that you're doing, it's protecting you, but it doesn't necessarily know that, you know. And then your conscious mind says, no, I need this, but they fight. So after the 45 days, it'll kind of go with the flow and then blend in.
Yeah, I've heard 3 weeks, and I've heard, you know, different things like that, 45 days. But I've seen personally, as soon as I change my attitude to one of gratitude, it starts coming in.
Heck yeah.
You know, the positive energy, the positive events and things like that start coming in. It can happen immediately, but you're right, the habits take a while.
Well, it's a habit. I mean, now I know this is more of an addiction, but in some cases it can be a habit. Take, you know, for smoking, for instance, a lot of people, like, the nicotine's the addiction, but bringing the cigarette up is their habit. So right. In order to rid themselves of that habit, they need to find something else in a positive way to do that right. can replace that.
Yeah.
Flush it out of their system.
I agree with that, because I remember when I was quitting smoking, I would habitually turn to look for a cigarette, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, I don't do that anymore. Or you're right, I would start doing this. It's like, but I did find, you know, when I was quitting, that taking that deep inhalation like I was smoking helped. It really helped. So, you know, I totally get it. I get what you're saying. So everybody, I am going to take our first reading that's on the line right now. That will be Roberta. If you'd like Mark to do a free mini reading for you, you've got to raise your hand so I know you're interested. So if you're there, whoop, whoop, raise the hand. So let me get, oh, and here they come. Roberta, I'm going to promote you to panelist, baby.
You got to unmute your mic.
Yep, I got it. Hi there.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Thanks. You got a question for Mark?
I do. Hi, Mark.
Hello there.
I'm at a place right now where I'm kind of stuck as far as my career, my job goes. I've always done, you know, the corporate thing, and I just really feel stuck, and I don't know how to get myself out of this.
I've been there and done that.
Okay.
Well, first you need to, when you wake up in the morning, your mind's fresh, usually, unless you have a nightmare or something, but you want to kind of think about your thoughts. You know, most people, oh, I don't want to go to work today, or, you know, it's immediately it's a negative morning.
Mm-hmm.
You need to start saying, God, I love going to work. As much as that might not be true at first, I guarantee you, if you do that every single morning, you're going to manifest something that is work related that you love. And then you might get promoted or a nice fat raise. I mean, you don't know. I mean, I don't know where you work, but it starts with your morning thoughts. You want to build the habit of manifesting that, just that great energy. And then what I would also suggest is when you're going to bed, do the same thing. But instead of for work, say to yourself how great your day was and that you're very grateful, you know, for having been able to live that fantastic day.
Okay.
That's how I do it right now. And I will admit, when life throws you a lemon, sometimes you think a little bit wrong and you kind of get off track. But there's ways to get around it, and that's just, you have to stop and think, because most people, a lot of people, their actions, they don't think before they do, and then they attract that negative, you know, crap to them. You don't want that. So that's what I would say, definitely. And let's see, I have some quotes here. I started writing a book a couple years ago. This one's good. And this one might actually help you. Walk the line never ends. Now, what this means is that you will always have a path that you can trust. You know, this is a path that is there to guide you when you need the higher power's guidance. It's always around. You just kind of have to open your eyes. Or in this case for you, it's open your thoughts. And you want those nice, positive, big thoughts just to build up in there and keep them coming every morning.
Okay.
And you're gonna one of these days, probably in 2 months, you're gonna be like, wow.
Let's hope. Let's hope, Roberta.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care, dear. Thanks for chiming in.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. All right. So explain to those who are just starting a spiritual path or don't really know what the law of attraction is. Explain to them what it is, Mark.
Well, it is one of the 7 laws of the universe. One law in particular that everybody knows about is gravity. So with the law of attraction, it states that like attracts like. A human is attracted to a human. Another dog is attracted to a dog, or a lion to a lion, you know, whatever. Your species is attracted to itself because it's like each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's see, what else? Okay, like I was saying earlier, you stubbed your toe, you're thinking about you stubbed your toe, negative feeling. Well, you're going to attract more negative feelings. Maybe not necessarily a feeling itself, but something will come up that day or maybe that week to give you more negative feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard from family members and friends countless times how much they hate their job, and then they'll complain about everything that happens throughout the day or the week or whatever. And I keep telling them, you're attracting that to you. You keep talking about it. The law says, you want more to talk about, I got it for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that happen time and time again as well, that people complain about money or their spouse or their relationships or their kids.
I'm guilty. I am guilty.
I think we all are, because I think that's part of being human. But once you're aware of what's going on and how what you focus on is attracted to you, it kind of makes you sit up and take notice.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, if you were to sit down and write out all of your habits and be honest with yourself, you're going to see you have a ton. And then you need to ask your significant other, possibly your parents, and maybe your best friends. You're going to see that you have an abundance of habits. and those habits reflect onto your thoughts. So that's what I think most people need to realize. Change your habits, your thoughts will follow, and then you'll start attracting the nice abundance of love and good things.
So I know I have, but have you ever had someone simplify this theory or this law and just say, oh, you're looking at the world through rose-colored glasses?
Not exactly, but I'm not exactly sure.
Yeah, I noticed that because I have, when you're going through hell and you're thinking positive thoughts, but what you're actually doing is focusing on the negative, like trying to banish it, if you will, right?
Yeah.
So some people think that you're looking at the world through rose-colored glasses. In other words, you're being immature about this or that type of thing. But even if you are looking at the world through rose-colored glasses, you're keeping your thoughts positive.
Yeah.
Right? So then you're attracting things to you. Yeah. Let me promote Cindy to panelist. There she comes. Hi, Cindy.
Oh, hi. How you doing, Lisa?
Good. How are you?
Good. I see I need a light here, huh?
There you are.
It's light. Well, still a little backlight, but hi, I'm doing great.
Good.
Excellent.
You have a question for Mark?
Yes, I'm always looking for my life purpose, and I'm wondering if I'm just trying too hard.
Well, before I would answer that, I will say that, now this is an opinion of mine, but to me, trying leads to failure. So if you want something done, you have to go do it.
I mean, unless it's
a food, you do try food, but when it comes to actions that you want done, you need to do them. As far as for life purpose, well, something says that, honestly, I just get the word happy, which I'm thinking means that whenever you're around people, they seem to be in pretty good moods or smiley. So your purpose, if you will, is probably just to continue making people happy and feel good about themselves. Now, you could also then, as far as law of attraction goes, keep attracting those great people to you by thinking, more happy and great thought.
All right.
I can validate that, Mark. I've had Cindy. I was honored. This is wonderful to have Cindy in a couple of my classes online here, and then as well as in Lilydale. And she is the most kind person I think I've ever met in my life. She's always very sweet. She's always very positive, and I agree with the happiness. So if your life purpose, Cindy, is to spread joy and happiness.
Oh, keep it up. That's an easy one, huh?
So, well, are you into like pets?
Pets.
Dogs. And I would say cats, but personally, I'm not a cat person, a dog person. But I'm just wondering, like, when you go around places, if there are dogs nearby, if they're always happy when you're around them.
I love dogs. I had a reading at Lilydale, and a dog that we had died came to visit, and
that's nice.
And it was just super. I mean, yes, we love pets. Don't have any right now because we've had to put 2 down, and it's kind of hard to go back again.
I hear you on that one.
Yeah, so
it is. Well, thank you very much for chiming in, Cindy. It was great seeing your face.
Thank you. Good to see you too. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
All right.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye. So, tell me, we've talked about how people utilize the law of attraction, but in what areas of their life can they use it?
You want it for financials, you want it for love, you want it for maybe not necessarily financials, but work. You know, maybe you have your abundance of money that you're happy with, but maybe your job stinks. You know, you can use it to really find everything. And then like, let's say for a job interview, you know, let's say it's scheduled for a week or two from now, then you get the habit of every morning, I'm going to nail this thing, you know, I'm going to do great. And you will. For instance, I was saying I had gotten a job in 2015. What I didn't say was that I was actually laid off from one February of 2015, just about a week before my wedding, which you officiated actually. And so then for like several months, I was trying to find something online. I was trying to get my freelance work going, and it was kind of slow. But then I got a phone call, and they wanted to interview me over the phone. So I'm like, okay. So for the whole week of me preparing, I'm like, I got this. You know, I got this job. It's in the bag. And they actually hired me on the spot. And that had never happened to me, you know, in the past. I certainly wouldn't do it again because they didn't fly me down to do an interview, you know, in person, which to me was weird, but that's just kind of how that goes. But the fact is, I used the law of attraction to get the job, and I got it.
Mm-hmm. That's neat. It's neat how you're able to put it into action, put it into motion, if you will. So how would someone use the law of attraction for relationships? Because I get a ton of questions. What is that special person coming into my life?
Well, the answer to that question, I think for most people, as far as like, when's that special someone coming into my life, is as soon as you start thinking that they're already there. Because even though they're not, you know, you have to trick yourself at times. And so what you have to do, as long as you have a large enough bed, is scooch over when you go to sleep so that your partner will have space. Because if you don't, if you don't, you're not opening up. You know, you might be open as far as physically, but then where you're living, you're not. So closet space, you need to make room. You know, if you're a guy and you're looking for your, you know, hot wife, you need to clear out your closet because she claims the whole thing. You get a little tiny space and then like a hanging basket thing. So there's that, there's, you know, your bed, there's, if you're not very clean, like let's say you don't dust as often, well, most women want that done. So you need to, you know, get to that as well. Things that you, like I said, bad habits, you need to correct them. So cleaning your house, probably at least once a week, probably more might be better. You know, but then when you start to go out, you have to start thinking, what type of woman or man are you looking for? Where would they be? You know, in my opinion, the ones that go out to the bars, they're the party animals. They drink every week or every weekend or whatever the case may be. If that's not what you're looking for, don't be going there, you know.
Right.
You could go, like, if you're into the quiet type or the ones that are smart, intellectual, like to read or something, go to Barnes & Noble, you know, and look at a magazine or something while you're scoping.
While you're scoping. You're right.
Actually,
you're so right. I love that.
I can tell a quick story on how I met my wife.
Mm-hmm.
The law of attraction was very strong here, but it wasn't because of me, not until the end. it was more because of her. And do you remember MySpace?
Oh my
It
gosh.
hasn't been
Yeah.
around for a long time.
Yeah.
But let's see, about a little over 10 years ago, my wife found me on MySpace. And she's from the Philippines. She was living there and just started, like, she added me. She said that I was on the side panel that said, like, cool new people. Thing is I had an account for like 8 years before that. So I wasn't new. Whatever. But so we started chatting. Yeah, we started chatting then. And then on and off, I had girlfriends here, but they all kind of had the same crazy person similarities, and they never worked. And then using law of attraction, I was like, I need to go there. I need to meet her. And I ended up getting a contract. Like, I do video editing, and I got a contract with a company doing commercials, for 4 months. And I got plenty of money from it, which allowed me to pay off all these bills and then buy my plane ticket and tell her, hey, I'm coming over. And I was there for 15 days, and it was fantastic. And I went with a purpose. I had a ring.
Wow.
I went there. Her cousin helped me arrange a engagement dinner, and I talked with her parents for permission. And I did the traditional, like, in the Philippines, it's tradition where the man will talk to the parents first. So
it's supposed to be tradition here too.
I think that was lost in the 60s, but
I think you're right.
So then basically after I came home, I filled out all the visa paperwork, which is expensive and ridiculous. But, I did that. And then she arrived here February 12th. And so we actually did get to have our first Valentine's Day together, which was nice. And then we got married March 7th because when you're coming into the country like that on a fiance visa, you have 90 days to get married.
Oh, wow.
So I was planning the wedding from January and February like a madman. And at first I was always kind of like, I don't see why women complain about planning a wedding. I mean, and then when you plan one yourself and you're like, holy crap.
There's a lot of work involved.
Yeah, there's a lot of last minute stuff. And,
yeah,
at first I know that your schedule was booked. So you had pointed me into a direction of a mutual friend. And then all of a sudden you're like, hey, I can do it. So that's a law of attraction thing, because I wanted you anyway. So, but yeah, so law of attraction worked to get us together. And
right.
I mean, it took 8 years, but when both of you work at it together, it'll happen quicker. But,
right.
For like 7 of those years, I was in and out, and it was not really, great for one of us. So.
Right. No, I get it. So, if you really want something and you keep on putting it out there, it might not happen in your time.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is a lot of people expect it to work right away, and sometimes it does. But I also believe that, like, as humans, we have lessons that we have to learn spiritually before, you kick the bucket. And there are paths, and I'll call them like stations that you hit. And that's where you got some major life lessons. And I actually, during the 8-year span, I had a lot. Unfortunately, they were all the same one, because I just didn't get it. And then eventually I did, and something clicked. And that actually brings me to a quick quote of mine.
There you go.
The lesson of love is more powerful than anything you can learn, which is why it takes most people many, many attempts. I'm guilty. So during that 8-year span of on and off, I had a couple girlfriends, and one, like, I dated her for 2 months, and then she got engaged to a friend. And I'm like, what? It was like, it could be a movie. And then the next time, like a different time, I was just dating different girls, and they're all like, nope, 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 nope. But one, she wanted to do nature walk. I'm like, cool, bring my camera. I had like a $1,800 camera with filters and different lenses, and I left it in her car on accident. And I call her up, and she's like, I don't see it, but I knew it was under the seat. Well, she took it and sold it and whatever. So
Oh my goodness.
yeah. Yep.
Wow. Lesson learned.
It's like all of them were that way. I had a girlfriend that, like, I got into a car wreck, and she didn't come see me. She didn't care. It was like, nah. I'm like, oh my dear Lord, these are all okay. I'm done.
Start to wonder what's wrong with myself.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you wised up. Look at her hair. Like, ah! I love it. Hello, baby. Hello, pumpkin. Who's that? Huh? Who is that? Can you see Daddy on your screen?
Very small, but
Very small.
Yeah.
All right. So let me. Hello. Hi. Can you wave to me? She's trying. She's trying. Okay, I'm going to promote Brooke to panelist. Are you going to talk to us? Okay, where's Brooke? Here she comes.
And
Hi, Brooke.
Hello.
How you doing, honey?
No, not too bad.
Good, good. Do you have a question for Mark?
I do, because you mentioned habits and creating new habits to attract the good things. But as the saying goes, all habits die hard. So if you're used to, like the worry and the anxiety. So I guess for me, that's kind of like there's triggers, and then I automatically go, oh, this went wrong. So this and this and this and this have to go wrong. And I know cognitively that they aren't going to necessarily go wrong, but it's always like, it's almost like if one of those bells goes off, they all go off. So just curious how to get those habits out of there.
Let's see. Okay. Well, let's see, with anxiety. See, I don't personally have that, although I know people who do. I know that some people have their, what would you call them? But I guess them in itself is a habit. Well, okay, so the law says thoughts become things, right? So when your anxiety kicks in, the thoughts that you don't want to come in but do anyway are starting to manifest into your downward spiral, we'll say.
Yeah.
So instead of, when that kicks in and oh, here's all these negative things, you need to just stop and flush them out and think of something completely different, like off topic. I don't have that, so I don't have great examples. Do you have an example of something that you might be thinking of at that moment?
Well, it could be something as simple as like the kids, like especially with Corrigan, my son, he's older now, he's driving. So if he doesn't come home right at 8 o'clock, then of course I think, oh gosh, what happened? And then it turns into lots of other things if it goes on too long. And the worry starts. And I know that it's not necessarily obviously real, and he's just running late or his phone died, and there's usually a pretty simple explanation. But in the meantime, to run off and make other things happen.
In that instance, because I've been there, on the other end though, number one is, he's okay. Deep down inside, you can feel it. I mean, you're a mom. Moms have that instant feeling. here. They have that no, you know, like you know deep down he's good. So don't let those thoughts of, oh my God, to get in the way. Because if something did happen, chances are you'd get a phone call right away. So if you're not getting a call, then there's nothing to worry about. And the other thing too is when people worry about anything, that's when you introduce negative thought into your head.
Mm-hmm.
So instead of that, you just need to think, he's going to get grounded tonight. You know, that's a positive thing, because then he doesn't have to go out.
That I love. Yes. I
Yeah,
love
I agree with that very much so. For me, it's like, you know, when you have a song that runs over and over and over in your mind, right?
And then they play it on the radio.
Exactly. But then what you need to do is actually sing a different song in your head, right? Like reintroduce something else, which is what Mark was talking about, when you stop and then think of something else, you know, try to distract yourself or whatever, and then take a breath and realize, I'm okay. He's okay. Yeah.
Still going to be grounded, though. He's late.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, because he should have called if he could have. So, well, I hope that helped.
My thing is early on time, late. So, like for my daughter here, when it comes time for her for driving and dates, I will tell the boy, he's home at this time. That means you're in the driveway 10 minutes before. Because if she walks in the door a minute late, that's it, you're done. So,
well, as we know, Brooke, it doesn't always work as much as we would like it to, unfortunately.
yeah.
But I love the theory. I love the theory. And that just kind of makes sense. You know, it's just common sense that, hello, so get there a little bit early. Now, kids push the button, as you know, right, Brooke? So, well, I hope that helps. So refocus and take a deep breath and think of something.
Sing a different song. That was absolutely fabulous. I like that. I'm going to remember that.
Yeah, it helps. And I know you're a singer, so that might work for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey.
Yeah.
All right. So let me get back to show notes. So how can the law of attraction be linked to spirit? How is this part of a spiritual practice?
Well, this is my opinion. I'm sure it might be many others' opinions. But I think personally that the law of attraction is the higher power itself. Giving what you ask for every day. The only thing is most people don't necessarily think they're asking for what they're receiving. I think that it's no. Need to move a tiny bit. There you go. There, see?
Oh, there she is. Hi, Maya. Hi, Maya. There you go.
So how is it linked to? Okay, so I just, that's a very hard question. To answer the question and get back on track, I don't know if I can answer that one, other than the fact that I think that the law of attraction itself is the higher power, or God, if that's your term. That's really the only thing I can think of at the moment. So I don't necessarily think like that. I just try to get more bundles of joy in my life. And I happen to have a very active one right now that consumes a lot of time.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that. So let's take another question. So let's try Ann again. Let's see if she can get online here with us. Hi, Ann.
There we go.
Can you all hear me now?
Yay, yes.
Yay! Awesome. And Maya's beautiful.
Good. Good to see you. Got a question for Mark?
I do. Okay. So I completely understand how the power of the law of attraction works. I practice it quite frequently. However, something came out of nowhere recently in regards to my job, my work. I was laid off unexpectedly. It was a position I highly love. I mean, every day I went in just loving what I do. So I'm trying to figure out now. I just feel lost. Like what just happened? Like the towel's been just ripped out from underneath me, So I'm trying to just understand, like, and I've been trying to use my guardian angels and everyone to try and to tap into to say, what's the message here? Because I really don't know what this means.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. I completely get it, Mark. I completely get it.
Okay. I'm going to tell you right now that what you're going through is a life lesson, and I've experienced that with that. Your guides not necessarily interfere.
Mark,
Yeah.
we're losing your audio. It's really quiet, so I don't know if something got bumped or turned off or whatever.
No, it should be here.
Okay. Well, we can hear you. It's just real quiet.
Okay. Let me put these back in again. Maybe that'll help.
Oh, that might help.
How about now?
Oh, yay.
There you go.
Okay. So anyway, I'll start fresh. Maya. Okay. What you're going through right now is a life lesson. And from my experience, your guides do not interfere with that because you have to learn this. This is why during my 8-year span of essentially dating women that, aren't all there, it kept happening and happening and happening and happening because I wasn't getting the lesson. So the lesson would keep presenting itself. So now you're at what I'm going to guess is your first time with this. So you need to evaluate the situation. You need to see what's going on. How did it happen? What can you learn from it so that you can move forward? You're at what I would say the fork in the road. You have the left choice, which is, hey, let's go do that again. You're going to repeat it later. Or you have the right choice, which is the right path. And you move forward and you're able to then live your life, the way that you want. I can't tell you what your lesson is. I can just tell you that it is rather big and you'll see it as long as you open your eyes.
Mhm.
Okay. Thank you.
Intuitively also, Anne, I'm getting the impression that, like Mark said, this is huge for you, especially since you loved it, because whenever we love it, we always put our all into it, right? So we know it's not a case of we did poor work or our attitude was lousy or whatever. This position I get is that was put in your life for a purpose, maybe to show you what the potential could be or what the potential is. But I feel like Mark said, this is the bottom rung on the ladder for you. All right. So it gave you an opportunity, I think, to prove to yourself what you could do. Because the position you had before this, jumping up where you're going, is too much for you to envision for yourself. So you were given this position to kind of, that middle ground to show that you can do this.
Can I ask you, Lisa, because I've been developing with you the last several years, and I have been told that is the area in which I should go, like I should move that. Could this, me losing my position, be a push in that direction? Like,
Sure.
I think it is.
Okay.
Sure.
I can kind of give my example when I got laid off in January, I wanted out, and the law kind of came in and here you go, you're out. I mean, it was kind of unexpected, and it was funny because I had filed for FMLA and everything, and 3 days before it went into effect, I was let go. So that gave me my opportunity to watch my daughter grow, and I wouldn't trade this up for anything. So I think your opportunity is right there. You know what you want now, and now you have the opportunity to go get it.
Yep, I agree.
Well, that's the funny thing, because I kept holding on to this job. I really wanted to hold on to it because of the financial ability.
That's also your habits.
Yeah.
Your subconscious mind is like, I'm not quitting these because this keeps me safe. But see, and then this is where I get my slogan of see outside the box. See, you being in that job you love, you're in your little box. You're safe in there, you're happy, you're comfortable. But there's more outside the box than anyone knows. There's more opportunity, there's more money, there's more screaming.
There's an agreement.
So yeah, it's your opportunity. It's right there, and you know what you want. Go for it.
So when you see that this particular job was a lesson, I mean, this is the first job I ever had that really was on the public stage of teaching. And I do love to teach. So is that where...
If that's where you love to go, if that's what you love to do, then do it.
Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like Mark and I, we're both teachers. And I think the public right now they're so hungry for something that's positive. All negativity going on right now. It's funny because there's just as many people who don't want to look at that as who are out there doing it, So if you're that teacher, whether you're formally teaching classes online or in person or whatever, people are hungry for that. They really are hungry for that, that spiritual growth, that enlightenment, how they fit into the grand scheme of things. Yeah, you could do that.
Okay. Then I guess I'll keep doing me for a while. I was just really scared because it's a huge hit financially,
I know.
And
I know.
I'm
But see, that's what happened with me, Ann. I knew for months that I was supposed to hand in my letter of resignation, and I didn't because I needed the income.
Yes.
But within 1 year, I had replaced that income by putting the money into my own business. So it can happen.
Okay. That's what I'm really scared of because of, taking care of the grandbaby and the daughter and stuff. I'm just scared of messing up my family security, that type of thing.
Nope.
All right. Awesome.
No. It's trust and faith. Yep. And work in the law of attraction. Yeah. Don't think about the fear about losing the money.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else to add, Mark?
I would say, since you're going to be starting your new journey, every morning, think about first you want to set a goal, and then you want to set, here's your goal. Then you want to set your vision of how you're going to hit that goal. So then every morning, what you're going to do, personally, I would do it in the shower because it's cleansing and that's, to me, that's just the ultimate meditation spot. But do it in the morning. You could probably whenever you're doing your normal routines, think about your vision and just visualize in your head, your day. Okay, today I'm going to do this to reach my goal. And sometimes if your goal's really big, you want to set sub goals, that you're going to hit before you get to the big one.
I love that. Good luck, Ann.
Thanks, Lisa. Thanks, Mark.
You're welcome.
I'm from the Philippines too.
Thanks. Take care. All right. So Mark, can you give us your contact information, all the different places that people can find you, please?
I can. Do you want me to put it in the chat or?
No, verbalize it, tell us, and I
Well,
will put it in I'll put it in the show notes, everybody.
Okay, so you can go to See Outside the Box. I'll redo that. You can go to seeoutsidethebox.com, which, like I said, I'll have every Monday. I'll have a new quote and an explanation of, and I'll have a contact page so you can email me through there, and then my YouTube channel, which is also See Outside the Box, which will also be linked on the webpage. And then if you need to call me, you can. That's 810-841-4072. However, I don't necessarily answer my phone if I don't know anybody, so please leave a message and I'll call you right back.
Right, right. So will you also be advertising your mediumship or your psychic ability for readings?
That to me, I've always felt this way ever since taking your classes and, you know, the mentorship, word of mouth. When I had started getting into it, it was all word of mouth, and then eventually I kind of stopped, just because there's some people out there that have their own thoughts about things, and I just then stuck to doing Reiki instead. I'm more powerful, I think, in that aspect as anyways, but I will say when I do give treatment or whatever you want to call it, I then sometimes give readings, but more based on health. If I notice any particular feelings. So here, Maya. But I mean, if I get the feelings, because I'm clairsentient, so I will most definitely help someone, especially if something comes in. I don't have any issues doing that. Although I'm not like that one, what was it, like a Rhode Island medium or something? I don't remember what her name was.
Long Island
excuse me. I don't do that.
I'm good. I'm glad.
I just tell the whatever might be coming their way that they need to go somewhere else, because I don't talk to strangers. My parents taught me well.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No, I don't address people in the grocery stores or out in public either. I think that's an invasion of privacy, and I think that for me, there's a level of integrity there. And I know that that's something that's, you know, that the show is, you know, based around. So I don't know if she really does it or not, you know, because, you know, she probably goes in with a team of like 20 people, you know, the lawyers, the camera people, the, you know, hairstylists and all that kind of stuff, you know. So I don't think it's so much of a surprise for people when they see this like entourage. Of course, it might be frightening, I would say, you know, have all these people converging upon them. But yeah, so it's up to you, however you want to do it. And I love word of mouth because that's the best. That's always the best. That's great.
Yeah, and then also, the way I do my pricing is much different than most, because I don't charge. You give me what you feel it's worth. Now, I've had some give me like 60. I've had some give me 100. I had one lady give me 400. I'm like, holy crap. You know, and I was kind of fresh off the Lisa Bousson chopping block. There you go, you're ready.
Chopping block.
And then next thing I know, I was getting some calls, and I went like this we'll just say client wanted to do a party. So there was like 5 people there, and I said, okay, I'll come out to your house, but I need you to do some things first. I need you to take all the family photos and don't get rid of them, but I don't want to see them. Don't tell me anything. I don't want to know, you know, whatever. And this was my first major one. Like I had the small readings like during class, and then a couple with one of my mom's friends. But this one was like, it was big. They're like first off, yeah, there was 3 women that were probably late 50s, early 60s. They're major believers, you know, so they were expecting all kinds of stuff. And then there was one, I'm only here to support them. I don't believe any of this. And believe it or not, she was the one that got hit the most. And she was crying, and it was great. And I still remember a lot of actually what was said. And for me, being that I feel everything, I actually felt like the emotion of, like, I started getting tears and wanting to cry because I'm feeling everything, and there was an abundance. And that actually, I think, may have been my last time too, because it was overwhelming at the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, especially when you're new at it. But now that you're a seasoned veteran. So, Mark, I really enjoyed our chat today, and I thank you very much for coming on, and thank you for sharing Maya with us. Yes.
Anytime.
Everybody, thank you very much for listening in. And Mark, again, thank you so much for sharing your expertise with us. And good luck with all your wonderful adventures.
Well, thank you very much. And, you know, I just want to leave with one quote here, if you don't mind.
I'd love it.
This one's a good one. So this would have been, actually, this will be on my blog site. The lessons in life that teach you the most hurt more. If you look at it in a positive way, even when your emotions are below empty, the end will prevail and prove to be the strongest. I've always said, it's always about the end as it determines the beginning. So basically what this means is that no matter how the start of your day or your project or whatever it might be, you know, no matter the start of it, it doesn't really matter, because in the end, if it turns out really good and incredible, then the beginning was nothing more than a lesson learned.
I love it. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
God bless you, my buddy.
You too.
Bye.